Good afternoon, everyone. We're coming to you live from Miami again today. Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon. We are coming to you live from Miami this afternoon. We're coming to you live from Miami at the Black Real Estate Developers Association conference. We're live at the moment. We're just waiting to get our feed coming in from our studio. A feed coming in from the studio. I'm gonna hand over to Mayor Holness to continue talking until I can get the feed coming in from our studio.
Thank you.
Our studio. Mayor Holness, over to you.
Thank you so much. Well, this is our second day here at NABU, National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Developers. And we're going to talk about money
Give him your call.
and tourism
Give him your
here at, are we live on WZOP, WZPP? We're ready? I know we are on Make We Talk, and this is the Money Show. We talk about money Thursdays and Fridays for 1 hour.
Wow.
And this is a very powerful event that we're at that happens every year. Andy Ingram, the founder of National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Developers. And we're here with two longtime friends who are in the tourism business. We're on the internet now. We're going to go live in 1 second for radio. And we're going to talk about tourism and money and how to get engaged and involved, and yeah, and what the money is all about. Go ahead, Jürgen. All right. So we are here with Sal Herbert, and Gloria Herbert. And we're trying to get organized, as you probably can see online, those of you who are online. And we're good. We're on WZPP, WZOP radio. You can find us, of course, at 96.1 and 92.7 in South Florida. And we are all across the state, in Orlando, in Tampa, and in Port St. Lucie. Welcome to Make We Talk, and we're talking money today with my friends, as I mentioned earlier, Sal Herbert and Gloria Herbert. They are the people behind the Black Meeting and Tourism magazine and the whole, all of that. And I've met them here many times at NABUD, the National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Developers, also at other events across the United States. And I think we were met even in Jamaica before. But let's talk about what you do. So we'll start with you. We'll let the lady go first. Is that okay, sir?
Sure.
Okay. So
Well,
speak
thank you.
close to the mic for me and tell me a little bit about you and about yourself, and then Sal, and then we'll talk about Black Media and Tourism.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much. First of all, we're very delighted to be here. And since this is all about money, tourism fits in very well. Probably we don't have to tell anyone from the Caribbean the importance of travel and tourism in terms of dollars and cents. Our industry has suffered a major blow, but I'm thankful to say we're coming back strongly, and you are a very big part of it. This audience, you're making a difference. You're a regent. So we want to support you every way we can. Black Meetings in Tourism is a longtime publication, almost 30 years. It's over 29 years that we've been publishing and writing about the value of the business of travel. So you are a component that will always be on our radar screen that we want to share with our audience what it means to travel. We always say when you go to one Caribbean destination, you've not seen them all. We have a shared culture, we have a shared history in a lot of ways. And so African Americans really need to know about this region and really need to support it. And that to nation and to enjoy to
Had it here in Miami also.
Yeah.
Martin Luther
Yes.
King.
Martin Luther King.
Oh,
Martin Luther
back
King.
the
Yeah.
days of Martin
Yeah.
Luther King.
Yeah.
Man, that's a long time.
Yeah.
Birthday.
$30 years.
Ah, so for 30 years you've been doing this.
Yes.
That's a very long time. So tell me what changes you've seen in the industry over time, and how you see Black folks making money in this industry. How's that changed? What have you seen?
Well, there has been some change, but I want to emphasize that there's a lot more change, a lot more change that's needed. I was just talking to a young lady who's actually on the cover of our magazine, who's the president and CEO of a hotel resort in Maryland, and she's one of very few Black females who have reached that level in this industry. There are 700 convention and visitors bureaus, and only about 10 or 11 of them are run by African Americans. So while we've made some progress, because when we started there was nobody, uh, we have a long way to go. The black folks spend an estimated 129 plus $billion every year on travel and tourism.
Say that again. How much?
129 billion with a B.
$129 billion that the Black community spend
Yes.
and traveling
Yes.
Annually.
Annually. That's a
Yes.
lot of money.
Yeah. And that's probably a conservative estimate.
Okay. So how are these dollars impacting various communities, and how can we help to direct those dollars to the right places to get the right amount of return on these investments?
Yes. Well, that is exactly what we've been trying to work on for a number of years. It really is going to be done the same way we have always done this. Is coming together, is working in collaboration with those our smaller entrepreneurial businesses to let them know that there are opportunities that are available. But at the same time, we also have to make some demands on our elected officials. We have to depend on them to take a stand. And so this has been one of our objectives for a number of years, is to actually bring together as many people as we can to rally the support of those elected officials to say that we matter, our stories matter, but our businesses matter as well. So I think it's going to be that concerted, continued effort that we're going to have to make. And of course, by electing the officials that will listen to us and that will follow through on these initiatives, that's going to be the difference that we can make as well.
Okay, so you talked about elected officials. I was one.
Ah,
Right?
remember?
And part of what we look to do is to put people in place. Like Al Tucker, you remember Al Tucker?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
We work to bring the right people into the Convention and Visitors Bureau that will then help to ensure that in those communities where these dollars are going, that the money when it spends reaches these communities when we spend that money. So if you're listening and you're in Florida, I'm sure you don't understand enough as to how this happens. Part of what I'd say to you is you need to get with your mayor and your commissioners, especially of your counties, because that's who hire the people who are going to run these convention and visitors bureaus in their community. And let's talk a little bit more about how that might be done, if you would.
Well, one of the one of the things I want to mention is that Florida, despite all of the controversy with Governor Santos and DeSantis, yes, uh, that he's caused, Florida has done more than any other state in terms of targeting the African American market and investing in the African American market. We have more, and not to say that our publication is the only measuring tool, but we've talked to other people who are in the media, the black-owned media, and they don't get much support from various destinations around the country to promote travel and tourism. Florida, and that's our experience, but Florida has more advertisers in black media and tourism than any other state.
But that's coming usually from your county convention and visitors bureau, like
Yes.
Miami-Dade County.
Yeah.
I interviewed the vice president in charge of multicultural marketing
Yeah.
yesterday. So she's in place to help make this connection.
Yes.
When Al Tucker was there, he made the connection
Yes.
for you also. So it's not necessarily coming from the scientists,
Yes.
but it's coming
Yeah.
through the entities. And in Tampa, we have Mayor Demings, Bob Demings' husband, who is the mayor of of Orange County, which is a huge county for tourism. So they would ensure that this kind of stuff happens. So here's something else that I talked about many times on this program, that there's a connection between the power, the politics, and the purse, the money. And the more we recognize that and realize that when we vote, we need to look to see how we vote on getting those folks to who will be in place to help us get people in office. That when the money is being spent, some of it is spent with us. Okay.
Yeah, that's so important.
Yes.
And as I said, like we get support from, and not just occasionally, we get a regular support from Miami, from Tampa Bay, from Jacksonville, from Orlando,
Yes.
and I can't think of any other state where we get anything even close to that.
I should tell us a little bit more about the publication, what it covers, and how someone who might want to subscribe get to subscribe to it or get in touch with you.
Well, absolutely. Um, Actually, for 30 years, it was my husband's brilliant idea to actually cover the business side of travel and tourism. So it not only tells you interesting places to go and visit, and it's really a way to make connections with other people who look like us. Our purpose is to showcase African Americans in the travel and tourism industry, to tell the stories about destinations. Uh, we're just approaching in the United States our 250th anniversary for the signing of the Declaration of Independence. And there's been a major initiative launched, which is called America 250. So Black Media and Tourism, along with the National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers, and National Policy Alliance, and also our partners at Travel Professionals of Color, have collaborated to launch a counter. It isn't a counter initiative; it's a parallel initiative because we're definitely supporting America. This is our country. We've given our life's blood for it in many instances. So we are launching this initiative. It's called Black America 250. You'll be able to
Black
learn more.
America 250.
Yes, you can go. The website is www.the THE blackamerica250.com. You'll learn more about that, and it's going to be an opportunity where you can submit your own stories of maybe people you know or you know of in your destination or your family. And it's about the contributions that we've made. So our idea, as my husband said, in spite of what other elected officials, your governor or anyone else is saying about hiding these stories, these are true realities and truth rises. And so we are going to present that opportunity to showcase the triumphs and the resiliency of African Americans and people of color, people who look like us as well, around the world, who really have contributed to the making of this country. You can also, of course, go to our Black Meetings and Tourism website to learn more about getting your information into our publication if you are a travel related business or an entity that wants to either be featured or just to learn more about other businesses like yours or that could be supportive of what you're doing. So that website is www.blackmeetingsandtourism.com. Black
Okay.
Meetings and Tourism, all spelled out.
Blackmeetingsandtourism.com.
All spelled out.
Yes, so blackmeetingsandtourism.com. And then you also mentioned Black America 250, the Black America
250.com.
So that blackamerica250.com, or they can go to the other website.
Yes, or Black Meetings and Tourism. Yes.
Black Meetings and Tourism. So you don't have cross link between the two. You should probably think about making sure that if you go to one site, you can click to the next site so that you don't have to give both of them up.
Thank you. That makes a lot of sense. Thank you.
All right. So it is really a pleasure to have you here. Tell me about NABUD and what your experience has been over the years, and what you see the benefits of NABUD, National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Developers.
Well, we've known Andy for many years, and Andy and I and a few other people actually started NABHOOD back in the day. And while I'm not a hotel owner, but since I'm in the travel industry, I was able to give the organization support and write about them and share the information about this organization in their conferences with our readership. And so we've stayed active, and we now, in the last 6, 7, 8 years, have been giving out our Apex Awards at the NABHOOD conference actually the Multicultural Tourism Conference, because there are two conferences back to back. NABHOOD starts, and then on today, the Multicultural Conference starts with the same location here, and it runs through Saturday, and we give our Apex Awards on Saturday.
Okay, so tell us about the Apex Award. What does that mean?
Well, we give out awards to people who we feel in this industry have contributed greatly to the industry, who what is the word we use? Distinguished service. I was grasping for that. And like this year, for instance, we have the first Black woman who was ever a CVV president is going to be getting an award. We have this young lady who's on the cover of the magazine. She's going to be getting an award, and a number of people. I think there are maybe 11 awards altogether that we're giving, including 3 of the awards for the Black America 250, which we're initiating this year, and we'll do it for the next 3 years until the actual celebration concludes.
Okay, so the multicultural tourism event starts
today.
Yes. Is there a registration, or how does someone get?
Yeah.
They can use that same. I believe they can go to the NABHOOD if they are able to go to the NABHOOD website, because National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators, and Developers and I believe that's I don't know if it's a .net or .com. You might have to check that out yourself. But there's a concurrent registration opportunity for the Multicultural Tourism Summit registration on there as well. So I think, as you were saying, they're linked, or the way we need to be linked. Uh, this, as Solomon said, this is our opportunity to acknowledge individuals who look like us, who have contributed to this industry, and really just to showcase tell their story. That's what I'm about.
Okay. Your issue, black tourism. Tell us.
So, two hands, black women in this industry who have reached that that height and that you know, level of authority. And she's actually here. I was just talking to her. She's going to be making a presentation right after lunch
Today.
on a panel, and then
Yes.
tomorrow she's receiving an award from an Apex award from us.
Right. And I know also that Sheila Johnson was here.
Yes.
What a pioneer she is.
Yeah.
She's extraordinary woman who is a hotel owner and who's very soft-spoken, just a very beautiful lady, such a gentle spirit and soul. But she just is a marvelous example of entrepreneurship, and she has a number of major properties. Many of them are resorts, or most of them, I believe, are resorts. But they're very popular. One of them is a Salamander Hotel. I believe that's in Virginia. But please look up Mrs. Sheila Johnson and follow her, because she is outstanding. And you're going to be hearing more about her, I'm sure, as time goes on.
And she'll be appearing on the cover of our magazine coming up very soon.
All right, good. Thank you so much, Sal and Gloria, for joining us on WZOP, WZPP Radio. And we have some other guests coming on in a moment to talk a little bit more about that. Again, thank you so much for the pioneer work that you've done over time, and keep the good work going on. And look forward to seeing you again.
And we thank you because we watched your career. You've been a great example. We appreciate you. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you so much. All right, so we have coming up Upscale magazine that will be talking to us now. Come on in. As you can see, there's a lot of activity going on here with us today. We have someone who's been a pioneer himself in the beauty industry. We talked a little bit yesterday. So this is your mic. We can talk to us a little bit. We're going to be. Yes, we have the magazine. So John and
Bernard
Bryan. I should remember that because you're big, huge, bigger than big, larger than life. So Bernard, do me a favor. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got into the industry, the beauty industry, and then after you do that, you tell me a little bit more. We'll continue the conversation. So go ahead,
Can you
Bernard.
speak a bit louder?
Okay. Yes, my father started Bronner Brothers 78 years ago. So I'm second generation, and he taught us entrepreneurship. So I started Upscale Magazine 35 years ago. So between the two businesses, we got a lot of years.
Okay. So tell us about your getting involved. Your father started it, and then how did it transition to you?
Well, he wanted it to go on forever, so he trained us as he grew us up in the business, had us working every aspect. So we literally loaded boxes. We literally helped make hair product. We worked our stores, and then actually went out and sold accounts. And we started from the bottom and all the way to the top.
So tell us the name of the company again.
It's Bronner Brothers.
Bronner Brothers.
We're famous for our hair shows.
Bronner
We do
Brothers.
the world's largest African American hair show.
Yes. And when is the next one coming up?
The next one is in February in Atlanta, Georgia.
Okay. All right. And tell us now how, if someone wants to reach out to you and get in touch with what you do, how do they reach you? How do they find
You can go to our website, which is either bronnerbrothers.com or upscalemagazine.com.
Okay. So bronnerbrothers.com. Spell Bronner for me so that
Okay, Bronner is BRONNER
okay.
BROS.com.
Okay, bronnerbrothers.com. And you've been doing this for how long? You've been in it. Your father started 78 years
Yes,
ago. How
I've
long
done
you-
almost 40 years now.
Wow. And are you preparing your children to take over?
Yes, yes. We have the third generation in queue ready to go.
You know, I often talk about entrepreneurship and how in this capitalistic world that we live in, you can't transfer the job to your children, but you can transfer the business that you start to your children,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And that's how you create legacy and wealth. So give folks out there who might be in business an idea as to the ingredients to help ensure you get the younger generation and the other generation involved. Because oftentimes I hear, well, my kids don't want to do this. What do you say to them?
Well, I think the most important aspect is for the children to see you doing it. And once they see you doing it, they'll start picking up stuff. Even if they don't come in right away, it gets in their blood, it gets in their DNA, and eventually it'll come out. So my daddy didn't make us come into business. He just brought us up into business, and we saw it day and night, and we woke up running the business.
All right. So, and I guess you're doing that with your children
Yes,
also.
yes.
So they are. So you're setting that up, and maybe even grandkids are coming
Yes,
along.
yes.
So
Yes.
78 years is a long time.
Yes.
And it's good to see you. And tell us a little bit about you.
Well,
Your involvement.
all right.
We got only
First
about a
of
minute
all-
to go. Speak closer to the mic and
Okay,
then as
first
loud
of
as possible.
all, I am blessed to be here today.
Yes.
All right. I give God the glory.
Yes.
And I am the founding publisher of Hype Hair Magazine,
Yes.
Today's Black Woman, and Black Men's Magazine.
Yes.
I've also worked with Mr. Bronner when he started Upscale Magazine.
Right.
I've worked with the folks that were at Essence, the founding publishers, Jonathan Brown, Ed Lewis Clarence, and Cecil Hollingsworth.
Mhm.
I've worked with Mr. Johnson when he started Ebony, and well, it was Negro Digest first,
Mhm.
and then it became Ebony Magazine.
Mhm.
So he had some folks out there, and when he started it, the traditional white distributors would not distribute him. So he had to go through the black newspapers to get the magazine out.
Right.
Okay. So I've been in the industry. I started out with Hearst Magazine,
Okay.
Cosmo, Good House,
Yes.
Harper's Bazaar.
Right.
One of the first blacks that they hired.
Right.
But I know that I was there for a reason,
Right.
not a season, but a reason.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And that reason was to learn their ways of doing things,
Yes.
and to impress them enough to be comfortable with me.
Yes.
See, that's how you have to do
And then
it.
you learn the trade there, and then
I
you took
brought
it out
back. I took it back
to the community.
to my community,
Yes.
my
yes.
community.
Yes. Yes.
All right, and that's what I'm doing today.
Right. So-
That's what I did with Upscale.
Yeah.
That's what I'm doing with some of these smaller magazines today.
Okay.
I'm teaching them how to get the magazine out
Out to the public.
the public and to the distribution.
Right.
Okay, through the Barnes and Noble, the
Right.
Books a Million. See, they don't want.
So
you to
how
learn.
would someone reach you to get information on your publication or what you
Oh,
might be able to do?
well, if they Google John Blassingame publisher, they'll get
John
all the
Blassingame.
Blassingame. That's BLASSINGAME publisher.
John
Okay.
Blassinger, publisher.
Or Instagram. I'm on Instagram. New
Okay.
Day. New Day. My company is
Yes.
New Day Associates. It is a new day today.
It is a new day,
All right?
certainly.
And we have to learn. We have to learn about this day
Yes,
because change is supposed to come,
yes,
and it'll only come when we start to make it happen.
right.
Okay, when we change the way we look at things, the things we look at change.
And we're going to a break now. Thank you
Uh-huh.
so much for joining us today.
My pleasure, my
Uh,
friend.
Good, good,
God bless
good.
you.
God bless you also. Thanks. Bye-bye. All right, so we are on break for WZOP, WZPP radio, but we're still on live with Make We Talk with Jeffrey. Jeffrey, you want to give us a little summation as to what's going on here, what you see, and I'll take a moment.
Yes. Thank you very much. We're live from Miami, and believe you me, what I'm seeing here, former Mayor Dale Holness, it's very nice. What I'm seeing here is it's very nice. We have a lot of as what you would say, a lot of money in the place. A lot of we have Jamaicans, we have Americans who are developers and real estate dealers. So it's very good when we can have people coming together to talk money. We're live on WZPP radio, WZOP 92.7 rather, and WZPP 96.1 FM. We're also live on the Make We Talk Jeffrey Tavares YouTube channel. We're listening and watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. We're coming to you live from Miami, Florida, of the Black Meeting and Tourism Association. As I said before, you have people from Direct TV, you have people from Chase Bank, you have people from all over who are here to really and developers. Yesterday I met a gentleman from Rollington Town in Jamaica. He has his group name is Rollington Group, and he's gonna build a hotel on the north coast in Jamaica to develop a hotel down there. I don't remember how many rooms he said, but he is gonna develop a hotel down there. Yesterday we were here and we had a wonderful time, and today we're gonna be here again. It's nearly how many, you have African American travel meet. You have people from all over the place. You have, as I said before, you have people from Jamaica who are developers who are up here at this conference. You have people from Miami, Florida, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, all over the place. They meet here and me County Mayor Dale Holness, who is here with us. He was the one who was interviewing our guest. I'm just doing the technical work in the background. But to all my viewers and listeners there on my YouTube channel, thank you for joining me. Thank you so much for joining me. And it is good to have you all on this afternoon. We're still waiting on to go back live onto WZPP radio and WZOP. We're still live here at the conference. Next time I'm going to have a camera where I can scan a. There's so many booths here. There's so many booths here that people are selling their product in the sense of giving up the business card, telling what they have. You have Chase Bank, you have Direct TV, you have Bergen Technology, you have phone companies here, T-Mobile, all those places are here. And believe you me, it is a very nice scene what you're seeing here. It reminds me of the Jamaica Expo that we have in Jamaica sometimes. But today is the last day of the conference. Today is the last day of the conference, of the expo, I should say, the last day of it. And then, we go back into studios. Yes, I have with me now my co-host, former Broward County Mayor Dale Holness. Mr. Holness, is all over to you.
Yes, We're back. We're talking money here, and we have Miss Jessica Belfour, and she's the founder of D2 Hospitality Solutions. And this is radio, live radio. WZOP, WZPP radio in the South Florida region. We also cover Orlando, Port St. Lucie, and Tampa. And we talk money on Thursdays and Fridays for 1 hour. So I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about you, and then we're going to talk about your company and about money. How about that? Does that sound good?
Yeah,
All right, good.
absolutely.
All right.
So my name is Yashika Belfour. I spent 20 years in Marriott hotels.
Okay.
I was a general manager for a long time.
Okay.
After doing that, I moved into independent contracting, and from there, I decided to start an agency, and so that's
Okay.
where I am today.
Okay. So 20 years with Marriott.
Yes.
So you learn all the tricks of
I learned
all the
everything,
trade and everything.
Everything, yeah. I worked my way up from night auditor to general manager in about 7 years.
Wow.
And I spent the next 12 or 13 years as a GM before I moved into independent contracting.
Wow. Wow.
Mhm.
And in independent contracting, what did you do there? And
So I obviously having been in the industry for 20 years, I had a lot of contacts.
Mhm.
So when I decided to leave permanent management and move into independent contracting, I made connections with some of the people that I already knew in the industry,
Mhm.
and they would hire me
Mhm.
to come in and open hotels,
$250,000 for the parking garage.
So if any of you out there know somebody with a lot of money,
Exactly. That's what we're looking for. A person that can finance this thing. Absolutely. But of course, we're looking to bring incentives to the table. So we got tax increment financing. We're in the opportunity zone. It's in the urban renewal area. We might even, kind of bring some of the land to the table to try to make it grow.
So you'll give the land up for the development.
Yeah, we will consider. We will negotiate. We won't give it, but we will negotiate.
Listen, I was in government for a long while.
So you know how it works.
I served 20 years. Get interested in get to the table.
Absolutely. I mean, we have to, take care of the public's dollars, right? Exactly. So we want to make sure that everything makes sense and that the public is getting just as big of a return as the private. Yes, absolutely.
So you want to return on the investment of the people's money.
That's correct. That's correct. Whether it's with jobs, whether it's improving the tax base, whether it's the training for the local community. I mean, we're looking at all things.
So if there's anyone out there who would like to reach out to you, how do they reach you?
I just tell them my email, jkeeton@jacksonms.gov.
jkeeton@jacksonms.gov.
That's correct. I would love to hear from you. Okay. Serious inquiries only.
All right, good.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for being here. Good, thanks. And we have some friends here from Gallagher. They're going to talk about what Gallagher does. They're going to introduce themselves, and they're in the insurance business and health planning and all of that, right?
Yes.
So let me start with you first, my brother. Tell us, and you gotta get that close to you. Give us your name. Give us a little bit about your background, who you're born, where you went to school,
Sure.
and what got you to where you are right now.
Sure, appreciate that. So appreciate this opportunity as well. I'm Larry Phillips. I grew up in Chicago, actually in the public housing authority there.
Wow.
Was, of course, able to get myself out of that situation by means of academics. Was able to earn a full ride scholarship to University of Wisconsin-Madison. And during which time I discovered Gallagher, our internship program, and was an intern for 2 consecutive summers. And so something that I'm passionate about and actually applaud NABHOOD for is the scholarships that you all provide, right, to high school and college students. And so one of the things that I've been passionate about is making sure that our people know about careers within the insurance industry and bringing more diversity to the insurance industry. And in addition to that, from a business perspective, and I know Rodney talks about this, my colleague here talks about this all the time, but what we discovered is a lot of times Black business owners may not have access to certain things like capital and insurance products. And so for us to be able to really look out for the Black community and other minority communities, it means the world to us.
Okay, so Rodney, he brought you in. So tell us about you, where you grew up, where you went to school, and how you got here.
Appreciate the time and the opportunity. Again, Rodney Johnson. I'm the Divisional Vice President for Gallagher's Culture and Inclusion Business Division. I'm from the Chicagoland area, currently live in Cincinnati. Been in the insurance industry for close to 23 years. But as Larry mentioned, we're super excited to be here at NABHOOD and particularly motivated and encouraged by our role at Gallagher. As Larry mentioned, what we know is that minority businesses, diverse businesses have some of the same barriers to access in the financial institutions as they do in insurance. So our division is structured to break down those barriers. So whether it's access to higher limits, access to certain coverages, products and tools that help minority and women and diverse owned businesses grow their businesses, we're using Gallagher's Global Cascade to work with our carriers to break down those barriers to make sure that they can continue to grow their businesses, open their businesses, have productive and very successful businesses. And we do that through a number of different ways. We have a platform that we call Gallagher Connect Partners, where we work with minority, women, and other diverse certified businesses. And we bring them into our organization and basically partner with them and co-broker. So we're working with municipality clients, Fortune 500 clients, higher education clients, they're part of our workforce. So
So being in government before, one of the things that I tried to do was do what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I first became familiar with Gallagher when I worked as when I got elected to Lauderdale City Commission back in 2004. Gallagher was the carrier that provided the benefits program for the city and helped guide the city in ensuring that the right benefits packages are in place for that city. And I got to the county and served in Broward County for 12 years as an elected the mayor of the county at that time. Ran for Congress, lost by 5 votes, but that's another story for another day. But part of what I'd push for is to ensure that for Black-owned businesses that are operating in various in the insurance space, in construction, in whatever, that they get an opportunity to be involved because Gallagher is a huge mammoth company, and when you get huge multinational corporations in play, you can't expect that a Gallon Benefits, my friend Mike Gallon, we talked about him earlier off Mike, to compete fully. And not only because they can't do the work, but because when you look and analyze the money that's behind Gallagher, it's difficult to say, okay, let's give it to Mike.
Right.
I'm willing to.
Yep.
Because I think that there's some advantages with a small local company understanding the community.
Absolutely.
Being able to be the person that we go to. And there's no way for them to get an opportunity if we don't let them in. So at the county, I was able to get my Gallon Benefits in on a small part of that benefits program that we have. And they springboarded from that to where now they have some other places. And you talk about working with them. So that mentor protege program that I also worked to put in place in Broward County was part of what I did help to do to ensure that large corporate entities understand that the money that comes to us in government comes from everybody.
Right.
And we can't just give it all to the big, largest corporate entities. And folks that look like you and I, who's daddying, been around in an insurance company for 100 years, a great grandfather started one, that we get a chance too, that we don't get shut out. So I commend Gallagher, and you have an awesome responsibility in order to ensure that you're pushing the envelope, and that you go back to Gallagher and say, hey, look, what's right is right, because too often I see folks get in these positions and you hear the word token and tokenism, because they're our gatekeeper, and because they're not making the difference. They're just there to appease folks. And brother, I just met you, but I hope you ain't one of them people.
Listen. That we talk about that all the time. And if we're not making people uncomfortable, if we're not pushing the envelope, we're not doing our jobs. So we're, they say to whom much is given, much is expected. And so we really walk in that each day and really work to really try and make a significant impact. What I'll say is everything we do is measured. Everything is within our financials. We have goals. We have leadership goals around this. So it isn't smoke and mirrors. There's actually data driven goals that we have around what we're doing to show measurable impact. So we're not just here to be tokens.
Yeah. And I'll share one more thing with you if I can. So I think, as you know, clearly, governmental entities and some different sectors like higher education, construction, they will include requirements in their RFPs for us to work with smaller minority women-owned insurance agencies. Well, because we are so serious about this, we're not empty suits, right, in our roles. We took it a step further to say clients that don't necessarily have these requirements in their RFP, we're still going to bring our partners forth because we understand we're stronger together, and our partners bring their own thought leadership specialization that we can leverage for the betterment of our clients. The other thing that I want to quickly say is the fact that It's one thing to give opportunities to these our diverse trading partners, but it's another thing to make sure that we're sharing a lot of our resources and that we're working inclusively with them to ensure that it's not a pass-through opportunity, to ensure that they're able to increase their insurance acumen in other industries where they're looking to grow on their own accord, to continue to allow their businesses to thrive.
So that's good news, because again, I've seen many instances where these programs are in place and should be helping, but they're not. Again, it's not the training, not the developmental piece. It's okay, we'll make your pass through. You can
Right.
come and we're going to say you're on the team with us, and we'll give you $10,000 a year or a month, or 50,000, 100,000, whatever. But in terms of the entity building the acumen to then grow and develop, that's usually not given. Okay, and being in government before, I've had to call some people to the carpet on that,
Sure.
and make sure that they understand that we're serious about this being transformative and not just being window dressing to make people feel good or to appease folks in doing what needs to be done. So tell us a little bit more about the services that Gallagher provide for the community at large. And if someone has a business, a small business or a medium-sized business, how do they interface with you? And
Well, yeah, well, first of all, we're a property, casualty, and benefits organization, consulting organizations. And the thing that really makes Gallagher different is our specialization, right? While you work with many different brokers, potentially, a lot of them are generalists. So they don't have expertise. So when you talk about working with somebody in public entities, for example, our folks, Mike, that you work with before, that's all he works in. It's a public entity space. So he has that expertise, that specialization. He knows the coverages. He knows the rates and the pricing. And he can best put you in the best position with the carriers to make sure you get all the things you need. Obviously, we're here at NABHood. That's another industry. We have a great specialization when you talk about the real estate and hospitality space. We're one of the largest writers in this space, and we have experts specifically around that as well, too. So that is really one of the key areas, our specialization. I'd also say our culture, but also I'd say the diverse business piece is something that is different. You can go to any large broker, any medium-sized broker to small broker. They're not putting the investment, they're not putting the resources around helping minority and women-owned businesses grow and be successful. And that's what Gallagher's doing. And again, our results are measurable. You look at our Gallagher Connect partners, we started with 25 partners in 2018. We're close to 80 now. You look at the data that we're doing around minority and women-owned businesses. We keep track of it by every segment. It's growing triple digits. We have over close to 2,800 minority, women, and other diverse certified clients. We break that data down by African American, Hispanic, women. We know our data, we know our numbers, we know they're growing, and if they're not growing, we're trying to figure out why and create solutions to make sure they're growing.
so, there's a big pushback in some about diversity and inclusion programs, and especially in government. I know Ron DeSantis, the sanctimonious, Ron DeSantimonious,
Yes.
is not supportive of that, and it's such a crazy world right now that we're in, where they're now teaching that slaves benefited from.
It's wild. It's
I'm
wild.
sorry, I'm on radio. I have
Yeah.
to be careful.
Yeah, yeah.
I always say
Yeah,
it, right?
yeah.
But one thing I learned along the way is that many corporate entities understands that being inclusive and enhancing diversity goes to the bottom line. And in this country, the demographic shifts on the way. By 2045, the majority of people living in the United States of America are going to be minorities. And Gallagher, and probably it ain't just about being good and being righteous. It's about understanding that at some point in time, if they don't make the adjustment and be inclusive, they're going to lose money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
speak to that a little bit as you see it.
I'll take first pass at this, and I'll turn it up. What we've always tried to do is, we've never talked about diversity, equity, inclusion to our leaders to anybody in the organization as a philanthropic proposition. We talked about it from everything you said. The globe is changing. The US population is changing. The customer, there's more minority businesses, there's more women-owned businesses. We need to make sure that we're matching the growth in these particular segments, not even just in ownership, but you have more leaders in majority companies that are diverse. If our strategies aren't in line, we're going to be behind. And so it is, to your point, it is about the bottom line. It is about shareholder equity. It is about growth. And it's continue to make sure that Gallagher's successful for the next 95 to 100 years. But it's a business case, not a philanthropic case. We're not here doing insurance and affirmative action, right? We're here doing what's good core business, and it makes sense. And we've had, Larry and I both sat down with our global CEO, Pat Gallagher, who has given this his stamp and continues to back this and show this is important to the leadership team, to where he supports our annual meetings that we have, to our partners where he's present.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Speak to that issue.
Look, I
And,
could. Yeah, go ahead.
Since Gallagher is global,
Gallagher is
add
global.
another dimension.
Sure.
That Africa is the future, and certainly many in America are not aware that it is the future.
Yeah.
When you look at the population growth, when you look at the economic output potential that exists within Africa, Gallagher being global need to make sure that your brothers are out there on the front line and that they're doing what's right and what's equitable and fair and just. So Africa is in my opinion, is the next frontier for capitalism.
Yeah.
And many countries are left behind, including America.
Yeah.
Wall Street Journal actually did an article a few years ago that says Africa is the future and America is not ready. So hopefully Gallagher got you two brothers here to lead the way for them.
Yeah. Well, what we say is, we can solve any risk anywhere in the world, right? And that includes Africa. And so we certainly have a footprint there. We certainly want to service those businesses as well. But one of the things that I wanted to bring up was the fact that, Gallagher has been successful for a long time without DEI. And so for us to heavily invest in it, it speaks volumes. And, Rodney just mentioned that we have the blessing and approval of our global CEO, Pat Gallagher. Diversity, equity, and inclusion at Gallagher is a top 4 priority. And for me, one of the litmus tests of understanding whether or not, or how serious an organization is about DE&I is how much money and time are you investing into it, right? And I can tell you this now, considering it's a top 4 priority, this is one of the biggest items that we talk about in our leadership meetings. And one of the other things that I want to bring up, you mentioned the changing demographics. One of the things that we've heavily focused on the last 7 years is making sure we're intentional about expanding our relationships and partnerships to historically Black colleges and universities, Hispanic serving institutions, and other schools with diverse student populations, because like you said, it's going to be increasingly important that our sales teams better mirrors our diverse, customers. And we've made tremendous strides in terms of engaging HBCUs and the insurance industry. I tell them all the time, I'm passionate. I tell my story about growing up and
We're almost out
yeah,
of time. So
absolutely. Growing up in a public housing authority, if I can be successful in this industry, they can too.
how do they reach you guys if someone in the audience wanted to reach out to you?
You can simply email me at Larry_Phillips@ajg.com, or you can visit our website at www.ajg.com, search for diversity, and you'll see our profiles.
And your email.
Yeah, it's Rodney, RODNEY _ Johnson, JOHNSON @ajg.com.
Your website.
AJG.com. Just click on diversity, search for diversity, and we'll come up.
Wonderful talk. You're two brilliant young men. Thank you so much. For
Appreciate
taking
the
time
opportunity.
Yeah,
Appreciate
to
the
be with
opportunity.
us. We're about to go off the air, and we talk money. Ecclesiastic 10:19 says, "Food maketh a feast, wine maketh merry, but money answers all things."
Love that.
Thank you for everything that you do.
Thank you. Yes, appreciate it. Thanks so much. Really appreciate the opportunity.
I want to say thanks to former Broward County Mayor Dale Holness, my co-host, or I'm his co-host, I should say, by Talking Money. This is where we say so long from here. Return to the studios of WZPP and WZOP. I'm Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all for watching on my YouTube channel. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Until you hear me again, God bless.
You guys want to go see if we get some lunch?
We have to pack up here first.